Welcome to another 21 Hats Dashboard, brought to you by our sponsor, The Great Game of Business. I'm Lauren Feldman, and I'm here with Gene Marks to talk about the things we think business owners should be following this week. Welcome, Gene.
Lauren, it is great to speak with you as always. Hello.
As always, great to have you here. I appreciate you taking the time. Gene, I want to start today with a piece you wrote about a Microsoft product that's coming, not available yet, but it's called Copilot, that you say is going to be ChatGPT on steroids. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. So first of all, this might take up our whole conversation. I know you had a few other topics to talk about, but it's that important anyway.
Okay.
Because every business owner that I talk to, just clients and whatnot, and I've scheduled a bunch of presentations this fall on AI. Everybody wants to know about AI. We're all hearing it. Yeah, it's probably going to blow up the world. But before it does, how can we take advantage of it? And what does it mean for my business? So, if you start investigating AI, you just get buried in a bunch of bullshit that's out there. Every tech person is out there with developer tools and all sorts of complicated whatever. So here's my advice to you if you're running a business.
As you're going there, let me ask you this, Gene. Have you played around with it? Have you found anything that you can do today that's useful?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I use ChatGPT almost every day. But that's
to do what?
Another conversation. We'll get to this in just a minute, okay?
Okay.
Because ChatGPT is okay. Well, this will dovetail into Microsoft because most businesses in the country use Microsoft products. There is a large percentage of businesses I know that use Google products as well. Google, Workspace and G Suite. And I'm going to be writing about Google in the next couple of weeks about what they're doing with AI. But if you're listening to this and you're using Outlook or Teams and Excel and Word and all that kind of stuff, Microsoft is going to be coming out with something that is really going to rock your world. And it is going to really disrupt your business. And it's going to happen sometime before the end of the year. It's called Microsoft Copilot. And it is right now in testing with some of their larger enterprise clients. And what it is Microsoft owns half of ChatGPT. It owns half of OpenAI, which makes ChatGPT. So it's basically taking ChatGPT and it's now marrying it with your business data. ChatGPT right now, you can go onto it and ask it questions and have conversations and have it give you advice and recipes and things like that. But it's only working on external data that it scraped through September of 2021. When you're using Microsoft Copilot, it will be using external data too, but also your own internal data. And so, Lauren, let me give you some examples, okay, just to make this real life. Once you have Microsoft Copilot in Teams, for example, you, Lauren, can attend 2 meetings at the same time.
I have a hard enough time with one meeting.
Let me explain. Let's say you've got 2 conflicting meetings on Microsoft Teams, as this happens, a lot. You can tell Microsoft Copilot to attend one of those meetings in your place. It will listen to the entire meeting. It will then provide you with a transcript of the meeting. It will provide you with a summary of the meeting. And if it hears your name being assigned tasks during this meeting, it will schedule those tasks for you.
It'll reject them? It'll say, no, he's busy?
It will assume those tasks and schedule them for you with any background data that you might need to accomplish those tasks as well. All of that while you were attending another meeting. That's an example of what it will do. Let me give you another example. Let's say you use Microsoft Excel, as a lot of us accountants do and a lot of people do running businesses. Once you have Copilot, there'll be a button in Excel. You're going to have data in your spreadsheet. You would say to Copilot, can you please look at this data? Tell me what product lines are most profitable based on this data, or tell me which of my employees are working the most or the least hours based on this data. Or see this data in this worksheet, create a chart for me that separates out apples and oranges, or create a graph that shows the same thing. These are all things that you or most likely your employees are doing, but you will be asking Copilot to do it for you. It will do it for you. It won't do it exactly perfect. I'm sure there's going to have to be some tweaks and changes made.
Well, that's concerning.
Well, neither do your employees do things exactly perfect. Probably not either. Well, the point of it is that it will be providing functions for you on your behalf without an employee doing it for you, so that you can kind of pick up the ball and move it way forward than if you had to pay somebody to do that task for you.
Sure.
And it's acting as your assistant is what it's doing. And there's just a couple of examples. I'm going to use it in presentations. Whenever I give I'm giving a presentation on like security in the financial services industry. It's like a group of bankers in the fall. And between you and me, I don't know a whole lot about that topic, but I'm doing a lot of research and I'm putting it all into a Word doc. I won't have Copilot available for me, but if I did, if this was a year from now, I could say to Copilot, look, in this Word doc, create a PowerPoint based on my bullets in this Word doc. And it will take it and create a professional looking PowerPoint, which I'll then have to go in and tweak it, but it will save me hours of time doing that on my own. Does that make sense?
Sure. But won't you also ask it to do some research on its own? Maybe things that you haven't found?
Yeah. So, right now, if you wanted to do research externally, ChatGPT can do that. That's fine. But where this is really going, because it's leveraging your own internal data, so depending on how much data you have, remember, this is Microsoft. So Microsoft has its whole Dynamics product line. That's its accounting and its CRM applications as well, which is what really excites me. Because Copilot now, soon, will give you the ability to ask it questions where it can go into your CRM database and provide you answers back. Like, which customers have not been contacted from us in the past 6 months? It will tell you that instead of having to create a report to do just that, or asking your CRM administrator to create the report for you.
Could you ask it which customers are not profitable?
Same thing. It will look into your Dynamics database, your accounting system, and provide the same type of response back to you. So yeah, it will do that too. Not only that, but in the next iterations, you will ask it for my unprofitable customers, do an analysis for me in Excel, what our new gross margin would be if we were to raise the prices on that group of customers by 5%. And it can perform that analysis for you in Excel. And back to your CRM system, if you call out which customers have we not contacted in the past 6 months, please identify them and create this email to send to them, reaching out and offering them discounts on these products. Do you follow me?
Yep.
All of this it's Copilot. So it's not available yet. But it's coming. And people might think like, oh, this is scary, or I don't want, a lot of it's going to depend on the integrity of your data, but more of it is going to depend on you, Lauren, and me, and business owners like us who can accept change and accept the disruption and say, listen, I got to learn this and really leverage this stuff, make some mistakes with it, because this is what the new generation of businesses are going to be using AI to do. These types of functions. And if we want to keep up with our competitors, it's going to be critical for us to do just that. Otherwise, we're going to be doing things the old way, which is going to continue to cost us more than what our competitors are spending. And therefore, we're going to be outpriced out of our businesses. So it's critical technology that we need to learn. Now, one final thought on it. I just use Microsoft as the example because they're leading the way. They're the ones that have these business applications.
It sounds like you've got some advanced knowledge here. I know you sell Microsoft products and you help people.
No.
No?
Nope. This is all publicly available information.
This is all public information?
Absolutely. A lot of reading on this, a lot of research on this, all from publicly available stuff. Anybody listening to this can do the same research they want as well. And trust me, when this comes out by the end of the year, Microsoft will bury us in more propaganda about what it does. Fair enough. But let's just also remember that whatever Microsoft is doing, and I do think that they're leading the pack right now, all software companies will be doing this. If you use QuickBooks, Intuit is working on their AI type of, functionality. If you're using Epicor, and Salesforce is already introducing some of their AI functionality, and Zoho, they're all doing it. It's just that if you want to get your arms around where this is all going, focus on Microsoft and look what they're doing with Copilot. It will it will really help you understand the kinds of features and functionality that you should be looking for, asking your software vendors about, and then leveraging so that you can be, running your business that much better. It's really important to do right now.
Let me ask you, some of the examples you gave, it sounded, somewhat The kind of thing that I'm sure it's going to save you a lot of time, but it's the kind of thing that you could do yourself. It's really just a question of time. It's not breaking new ground. What's most exciting to you? What is breaking new ground that you think you're going to be able to do, that you're looking forward to?
Get more work done with less people. I mean, that's, to me, what it's all about.
Somehow it always comes back to the employees with you, Gene.
It always does. It always does. So when I look at the task that this will be performing and the ability for good, loyal, dedicated, performing employees who are hardworking, they will be able to do even more using this tool than they were able to do before, which means that businesses can shed themselves of the not so good, not so loyal, incompetent people that they have to hire and put up with because they still need this work done, even if it's done well or not. This type of technology is going to enable our best people to be that much more productive and that much more smarter. And you asked what excites me. That's what excites me about it.
Do you see it really changing the trajectory of your business? Are you going to have more free time? Are you going to make more profits? What do you think it'll mean to you?
So in my own business, just to give you some examples, I spend my own time, analyzing the profitability of my business, putting together PowerPoint presentations, writing up proposals and quotes. I see, products like Copilot saving me a significant amount of time in doing that. In some cases, doing that for me. That's number one. Number two is I pay through the nose for experts that help me with SEO, advertising on Google, sending out, marketing emails, some of them good, some of them not so good. I see myself paying these people much, much less, if anything at all, because I can leverage a lot of the AI tools to do that for me. So I do see that having like a huge impact on my business going forward, because I just think it's going to make even a tiny, tiny little business like mine that much more productive.
Interesting. I got to go back. You said that you're using ChatGPT every day. What kind of things are you using it for?
So I'll give you an example. I write every day.
For every publication known to man.
Yeah, I do a lot of writing. So I frequently will ask ChatGPT to research something for me or to provide another source for some information that I'm looking up. If I'm writing something, I will copy and paste a couple sentences and say, is there a way that this can be said better? I asked ChatGPT to, check my grammar. And I also use it for headlines because, as you know, it's all about, the headlines. I want people to read my stuff. I don't want it to be clickbaity, but I do ask ChatGPT to evaluate and optimize the search engine optimization for the pieces that I write and the headlines that I write. In other words, ChatGPT, I copy in a piece. Like I wrote a piece for Forbes. I'll copy in the whole thing into ChatGPT and say, recommend for me 3 search engine optimized headlines for this piece. And it will come back and give me some really awesome headlines that I can use that are keyword maximized. So that's a perfect example of some of the stuff that I use.
Do you prompt it in some way to avoid clickbaity headlines? How do you get good SEO headlines without getting clickbaity?
That's actually good. I mean, I've never really asked it not to be clickbaity. I mean, in the end, whatever headlines I propose have got to be approved by an editor. So there is that level of scrutiny on them. But I haven't asked it, but I'm sure you could. I mean, I'm sure I could try that next time and say, suggest headlines, but don't make them like clickbait, and I'm sure it'll make some suggestions for me. The other thing I do with it is, I do, a lot of interviews of people, and I interview people that write books, and I interview people for the articles that I write as well, particularly for the Inquirer, the Daily Herald. I oftentimes ask ChatGPT to suggest some interview questions for me. I mean, I had to interview somebody on a book just earlier this week that I hadn't read. And I didn't have the time to read it. So I cheated. And I went to ChatGPT and I said, can you give me 10 questions to ask this author about this book? Luckily, the book was written before 2021. And it gave me like 10 great questions to ask about the book. And, I realized I should have, and I said to him, I haven't read the book, but I've got some questions I'm going to ask you anyway. And then once we started getting into the detail of the questions, I could kind of run with it from there. But ChatGPT gave you a really great head start on doing that.
That's a great suggestion. I interview people too. I'm writing that one down.
Yeah.
I threw a transcript of a podcast into ChatGPT and asked it to write a LinkedIn post for it based on the information in it.
Right.
And it came back with something that was kind of pedestrian. It highlighted points that I thought were too unsophisticated for the business owning audience that I'm hoping to reach. Even though I thought the conversation was really good and sophisticated. And I didn't know whether it was my fault because I didn't prompt it well, or whether I should have.
No,
it just happens.
Probably not. First of all, it is it's an art to come up with the right prompts. And by the way, before I even mention prompts, whatever you wrote and whatever ChatGPT gave back to you, it is, like we said, this is not necessarily replacing people. It's not going to be perfect. It's an assistant. Do you know what I mean? So
Yep.
it's getting you started. And it's getting your mind going. And of course, you're going to see it and you're going to make some changes to it and take it. But it gets the ball rolling with it. Do you know what I mean? And it is, if it serves that purpose, that's good. Now, you mentioned prompts, and I'm glad you brought that up. Prompts are critical to ask questions of ChatGPT in particular to help you with your business. And so everybody, if you're listening, Lauren, I don't know if you have show notes to this or not, but GoDaddy published just a month ago this amazing document of prompts for small businesses with categories of starting a business, productivity, business operations. I can send you the link and you can share it, but it is, if you just Google GoDaddy AI prompt, or prompt library, you will find a whole bunch of great prompts that will help you, do stuff in your business. Do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Prompts about asking about like advice for getting. I mean, it kind of, all these small business experts that are out there. It really. It kind of puts them all away because it's just, you can ask ChatGPT any of these questions and it'll come back to you with all of these different, prompts that you can ask it, all these different answers to help you run your business through it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. That sounds really valuable.
It's very, very valuable. And it's been something I've been recommending to my clients to look at, and it'll give you a real chance to really take advantage of ChatGPT. And just remember, ChatGPT is owned by Microsoft, so everything and they're hosted on Microsoft's Azure, cloud platform. So everything you're seeing ChatGPT do, Microsoft's going to be doing as well, and vice versa.
That's a great suggestion. I was concerned that I was not prompting well.
I see you making feverish notes.
I'm going to use that, and I will put it in show notes.
Yeah, you'll see that the library is it's fantastic, and it's very detailed, and you'll really enjoy it.
All right. We did spend a lot of time on that. I want to hit one other thing before I let you go, which is
sure.
You recently wrote for the Chicago Daily Herald about the 2019 retirement legislation, the Secure Act, and its follow-up, the Secure 2.0. We've talked about this before. I know that there are a lot of great incentives for businesses to offer 401k plans and help employees who tend not to put enough money aside for retirement. The one thing is especially timely right now, which is there's a way to help employees who have student loan debt, which is likely to become an issue depending on how things continue to go there. But in light of the Supreme Court decision, can you explain how that works?
Yeah, it is. It's a big one. I'm glad you brought this up because this is very much a big issue for a lot of businesses. I mean, the whole point of Secure 2.0, which was in December 2022, as the legislation got passed, is providing all these ways for businesses to offer retirement plans and elevate their retirement plans. And retirement plans are the top 3 benefits that are requested by employees. So here the government is helping you do this. So the student loan debt is one big one. It's this. You say to any employee, if you are paying down your student loans, a lot of people are a lot younger and they can't, afford to put money away for retirement, and they're spending money on their student loans. Well, as it turns out, that's a problem. So the Secure 2.0 legislation now allows employers to match those student loan payments. So you've got an employee, they come to you and they show you the statement. Hey, I paid $2,000 down on my student loan. Great. I can take $2,000 and I can contribute that to your 401k. You won't get taxed on it. And I'll get a tax deduction for doing it. It's just like a matching contribution based on the student loan payments that you're making. And by the way, people say that this is like for younger employees, but I talked to, I don't know if you know who Scott Thompson is, but he's the CEO of a platform called tuition.io. And it's a platform that marries payroll platforms and student loan repayment platforms for companies that are offering like loan repayment benefits. And he says that a great number of employees that are paying down student loans are older employees. They're parents of kids, and they've assumed the loan and they're paying it down. So don't think that this student loan match thing is just a benefit for just younger employees. You might have, some older employees as well that could really take advantage of it. And if you offer this kind of incentive, man, it could really help you attract or retain people.
Yeah, not just employees, also candidates.
Correct. Because let's remember that, our retirement benefits they're a huge selling tool to attract people to your company. So the more that you can enhance them are great. One other thing on that Secure Act, I just have to tell you, Lauren, is which blows me away is the tax credit for matching contributions. So like if you've got a business with less than 50 employees and you don't have a 401k plan, but you start a 401k plan, you can match up to $1,000 of an employee's contribution, $1,000, and the government will give you a tax credit for up to $1,000 per employee, which is unbelievable. So, listen to this. Say you've got 49 employees. They each contribute $1,000 to your new 401k plan and you match it. So now the employee's got $2,000 in their account and you just spent $49,000 matching your 49 employees' contributions. The government will give you a tax credit for $49,000, basically giving you the money back, basically paying you to match your employees' contributions to their retirement plans to get them started, to get them going with contributions. That's huge, don't you think?
I do, but it's only for companies that start a 401k plan now as opposed to have been doing it for years? Correct.
It's for new 401k plans, correct. So that impacts people that are in startups, and it impacts, I think the numbers is something like, it's close to 50% of small businesses with employees don't offer 401ks. That's the whole reason why this legislation is so important. So if you don't have a 401k plan, just by starting one, the government will give you a tax credit just to start one. And then if you want to contribute to your employees, you don't even have to pay. The government will pay you to do that. Who wouldn't do this?
Can you drop an existing plan and start a new one to take advantage of that?
You cannot do that, Lauren. Nice try, you devious bastard. No, you cannot do that. It has to be a brand new 401k plan under your existing EIN or employer ID number. My God, you come up with these schemes.
What are you working on, Gene? Anything we should look for this week?
Well, I am going to work on that article about Google and what they're doing with AI, but that'll probably be sometime in the next couple of weeks. And other than that, for the Inquirer, I'm going to be writing. I don't know if it's going to come out this week or not, but I'm interviewing a young man who has a lemonade stand in Philadelphia, in North Philadelphia, and is making a bundle. And I'm going to go and meet him and his mom. And the whole point of it, the whole point of the column is it's not like, hey, kid has a lemonade stand, yay. It's more an advice column for parents that want to help their kids become entrepreneurs. Like what is she doing to help this kid? Because the kid's like 8 years old, so clearly it's the mom that's doing the stuff here. So I'm interested in what she's learned and what advice she would have for my readers. So I'm going to be working on that.
Yeah, I have to say, I'm sometimes skeptical of those stories. As a journalist, I've run into examples of that where, they want to make it sound like the kid's doing everything, but, the parents are actually doing everything.
And that's exactly the angle that I'm taking. I mean, with all due credit to the kid, he's there and he's doing his thing. He's 8 years old. So I just want to be like, okay, let's admit that the parents do, the lion's share of the work, and it's cool. But, what is she doing and how has she helped him? And, what advice would she have for other parents? I think that's kind of cool.
Well, you can make sure he knows that if he offers a 401k plan now, he can get a big tax credit out of it.
if he employed Microsoft Copilot as well, I mean, he could be so productive. So.
He'll never need to hire out those employees who would use the 401k plan.
Right.
Gene Marks is a CPA who writes weekly on small business for The Guardian, The Hill, The Philadelphia Inquirer, The Washington Times, The Chicago Daily Herald, Forbes, and Entrepreneur. You can also hear him on ABC Radio's Eye on the World with John Batchelor. Gene hosts 2 small business podcasts with Paychex Corporation and The Hartford. This episode was brought to you by The Great Game of Business, which helps businesses use an open book management system to help build healthier companies. You can learn more at greatgame.com. Thank you, Gene.
Thank you, Lauren. We'll see you next week.
Have a great week, everybody.